All right, Schlockmeister fans, we're going way back for this one. In 1932, Todd Browning's Freaks. Let's watch. Ooba Gaba.
The most astounding living monstrosity of all time.
She's the most beautiful big woman I have ever seen. Why, hon, how you talk? I should be jealous pretty soon.
Here we see Schlitzie and what they used to call pinheads.
Josephine Joseph, half woman, half man. Have a cigar, Joseph. You dropped your lipstick, Josephine. Don't get her sore or he'll bust your nose.
My money.
Here we have a couple arguing.
Grateful little tramp.
Don't tell me what I do. When I want a cigar, I smoke a cigar. I want no orders from the women.
Frida is jealous that her Hans is in love with Cleopatra, the trapeze artist.
That's for him. That's why I worry.
Was a what? Get up here, Johnny, and I'll show it to you. I did everything you told me and laid them right in the sawdust. Watch this, Venus. Watch this. Hello, Venus.
Hello, Johnny.
And here is a human torso. No arms, no legs.
We can do it, too. Well, catch a rack tomorrow night. We got something new. Hey, can you do anything with eyebrow?
And Schlitzie.
If you're a good girl, when I get to Paris, I'm going to buy you a big hat with a long, beautiful feather on it.
Hans is trying to woo Cleo.
Mine. It comes by the finest thing out of frame.
And you sent for it specially for me?
For the most beautiful woman in all the world.
Hans is spotting leaving Cleopatra's cart.
Cleo's going on a dad.
You think because she's so beautiful and I'm just a man? Please. To me, you're a man. But to her, you're only something to laugh at.
Apparently Hans is rich and is showering her
How
with
do you
gifts.
tell where the money comes from? How much is worth?
We got 500 for the bracelet. And this looks like ours.
She pleads with Cleopatra not to take her Hans from her.
Then it's not for hands you care. It's the money.
But a wedding between Hans and Cleo is planned.
You big homely brute.
Cleo is drunk. And her true feelings are coming out. They're not for Hans.
They'll make her one of us. A loving cup, a loving cup. We accept the one of us. We accept the one of us.
They may accept her, but
You're sorry? I'm sorry. Didn't I told you she was drunk? Didn't I told you we was only having a little fun?
Please.
turns out they're slowly poisoning him.
No, I haven't. I know what I'm doing. Leo to tell a doctor what she put in that wine last night.
What you're talking about, eh?
Stuff she put in the wine.
You're crazy.
Yeah? But you can't get away with it. I'll tell the coppers.
Now Hans is being slowly poisoned, but the fellow circus people are aware of it, and they have a plan.
Tonight, they will be ready. All right, you come to my wagon.
confronted. Well, the wagons crash in the rain, fight ensues, and there's that knife. And the freaks are stalking.
How she got that way will never be known. Some say a jealous lover.
And that's her now. The film ends with Hans and Frida being reunited. Apparently it's several years later, though.
Don't cry. Don't run.
And that's our movie.
Cry.
All right, let's talk about Todd Browning's movie Freaks. Came out in 1932. It is quite a fascinating film, I'll say that. It's a simple plot here. It's like an hour and 4 minutes, I think, is this movie. We have, for lack of a better term, circus freaks, or what were called freaks back then. We have like a human torso, no arms, no legs. We have one guy with no legs and just arms. We have what they called pinheads, including a Schlitzie. And I'm not sure what that disease is, that or affliction they had, but I don't think it's around anymore. We had the bearded lady, the human skeleton, just all kinds of crazy characters, the half man, half woman. And we have a plot here. There's two little people, midgets, and Hans and Frida. Hans is obsessed, or he's supposed to be engaged to this Frida, but he's obsessed with this trapeze artist who is named Cleopatra. She's this, blonde beauty type. And he likes her a lot, and he's trying to woo her, even though he's allegedly engaged to Frida. Frida's obviously jealous, and Frida thinks that Cleopatra just uses him to toy with him, make fun of him, and apparently Hans has a lot of money that she could get. Whoever marries him is going to get too. So she thinks Cleo's just after the money, which turns out Frida's right. And Frida's a normal-sized woman, so she has no interest in Hans romantically, but Hans doesn't know that. He's being toyed with, whatever. But anyway, they eventually agree to get married. They have this big wedding feast, and that's where you have that infamous scene where all the quote-unquote freaks are around the table saying, we accept her, gooble gobble, one of us, one of us. That's something that just sticks in your head forever. If you've seen it once, you'll never, ever, ever forget it. Well, then she freaks out, and she was drunk and says, you guys are freaks, freaks. She wants nothing to do with them. Then she starts to poison Hans slowly, and everybody figures out that that's what she's trying to do, so they decide to get revenge. All the freaks get together. There's an accident in the wagons. They tip over while they were traveling in the rain. And Cleopatra and Hercules, her actual boyfriend or guy or whatever the hell he is, get attacked by the freaks who are stalking them in the rain and the darkness and the mud and everything. They knife Hercules and he dies. We don't see exactly what became of Cleopatra. They were chasing her in the woods and she screamed. And then we fast forward several years, I don't know, she's been turned into some sort of freak chicken or something. She's like a chicken lady. And she's now on display, barking. And that's how the movie actually doesn't quite end there. We see a reunion with Hans and Frida, which apparently was filmed after the fact because the audiences were horrified by this movie. So they had to tack on a happy ending and cut out 30 minutes. And that's our film. Apparently they cut out another scene where Hercules got castrated. So how about that, huh? But anyway, the movie itself, it's hard to classify this movie. Is it horror? Is it exploitation? Is it a drama, thriller? I don't really know. I don't know if it can be classified as horror unless you think just looking at these types of people, who are real people with real afflictions, if you're horrified by that. But back in the 30s, some people were. If you listen to Howard Stern or watch Howard Stern, he has what he calls his whack pack. And that's what these circus people are. They're kind of like Howard Stern's whack pack. You don't see afflictions like this very often, if at all, anymore. But those that are now part of Howard Stern's crew. But they were real people with real feelings and everything else. So, but people in the audiences in the 30s were just horrified by this because they'd never seen anything like that before. You're exploiting them. It's just crazy. But by the same token, it's fascinating. You can't help watching these people. And yeah, they're armless, legless, quote-unquote freaky people, but they're just acting like regular people for the most part in these films, or at least as best as they can. Very strange. Quite a film. I don't know what else to say about it. But yeah, Todd Browning, he directed Dracula, obviously. Bela Lugosi's original Dracula the year before this, 1931. Then he directed Devil Doll a few years later, but apparently from what I read, his career was really hampered by the release of this film. Once it first premiered, they had to cut, like I said, 30 minutes out of it. And then those 30 minutes, whatever they were, are apparently lost right now. So who knows what all was in there. But yeah, fascinating. By the way, one of the quote-unquote pinheads goes by the name Schlitzie. She played a female in this movie, but actually it was a male actor who played it. I use the word actor loosely. But Schlitzie, if you ever watched or followed the web page findadeath.com, they put together, raised some money to buy a headstone for Schlitzie a few years back. So that was kind of cool. Schlitzie died in the early 70s, apparently, and lived in various group homes, that sort of thing. There you go. Anyway, Todd Browning's Freaks. This is the DVD. I've had it for years and years and years. I believe it's on Blu-ray now, and I'll leave a link to it down below if you're looking for it. Definitely check it out. It's a fascinating piece of American cinema. Well worth viewing. You should watch it at least once just to say that you watched, because it's interesting, put it that way. So check it out. Leave some comments. What do you think about Freaks? Tell me. Watch it. Bye.